bless America.
Oh.
4, 5, 6, 7.
7!
Still gonna
Cheating. It's green. You should get that.
Holy shit.
Let's go! Hello and welcome everybody to Nickel City X-Wing. My name is Greg and this is our final match tonight, game 3 of our triple header. This is a draft league match between Ando and Tanner. It's Team Fox versus Team Endgame. I'm joined now by a Team Mega Milk Union, I don't know, what do you call it, Teamster?
Yeah, sure.
Teamster, Yellow Jacket, Pim. Before we get when that representing Team Fox. It's Ando and new to Team Endgame.
We're in the end game now.
It's Tanner. This is Tanner's first game with Team Endgame. And he's looking to make a good impression. This series, of course, we just saw Fox go up 1-0. Can Tanner make it 1-1? Or can Ando find a Lambda shuttle? When's the last time you've seen a Lambda? Anyone? Tie this one up or bring Fox to the 2-0 lead. Pim, your initial thoughts.
I'm so excited to see a Lambda. That's it. That's my only thought.
I am too. Not excited that it's starting sideways and all of its turns are hard.
Yeah, that's maybe not the best plan, but I can, do some banks and get in there. Like, I see a pretty clear path into that middle. And it is assault at the satellite array, so it should get that bottom point fairly well. But I'm super, super jazzed to see Lambda on the field. Super excited to see how this matchup goes. I'm definitely, I don't know. I think I'm pro Ando here.
Are you pro Ando? Wow.
I'm pro Ando.
Pretty
I think
racist.
it's Tanner, just like my buddy Ando. Pretty racist. What are you talking about?
Pretty racist, man.
All right, well.
What's Ando's record? 1-2, I think. He's got one victory. I don't know how many games he's played. I don't really keep.
What's the
Tanner,
spread?
The spread on this one would be pretty big.
Okay.
So Tanner's 11th overall, and Ando is actually not that big. So 30th overall. So the spread would be 2.5. So Ando would get 2.5 points.
Okay.
Actually, is that be 3 minus the 1? Yeah. Yeah, it'd be 2.5. So Tanner minus 2.5, Ando plus 2.5 would be the spread if that's what we're doing. It's not what we're doing though. People were like, this would be hurtful. Gideon Hask, Iden, Versio. I don't know what Sigma 5 does.
I don't know what any of these Sigmas do. I read them once, and I just rely on my opponents to tell me what they do.
Let's see what Sigma 5 does. After you perform an attack that hits him, you spend 1 to perform an evade action.
So it's a discount whisper. As in the Phantom Pilot, not as in the Phantom Pilot, not the FO ship.
Yeah. Mystic bets against Ando and then immediately apologizes to Ando. like he didn't mean to bet against him, even though he clearly did. Where did Wookie and Fam bet?
Well, did you see their agreement that they're splitting bets?
Yeah, that's what I want to know, like where they bet.
They got the honorable betting going here. I think Wookie has
Fam
to bet
has
first.
Ando, Wookie has Tanner. Okay.
Ooh, exciting.
I actually like Ando's setup. People are
I think it's
criticizing
pretty
the
solid.
shuttle placement. I probably would just
No.
start it straight, but you just bank it twice.
This gives you a pretty good vector to just kind of bank it, stay behind these ties, but still able to coordinate them.
Mhm.
I don't hate it. I think it's pretty solid. The worst thing you're gonna get is it may not have the best chance of getting shots early, but you know you can make that work.
Grievous gonna chew it up, says Mystic. I don't know. Got a back arc on it.
So you got the
90 more
very
degrees
basic.
that
You have the very basic setup here or not basic setup rather, but the usual CIS starting block, right, of Django and Grievous. But then we've got a Bombardment, the Iron Assembler, and DFS. I'm excited to see the Assembler. I haven't seen him on the table yet.
So when you use exclamation point card, what you gotta do is make it like you're running a search on Google or something. So the more specific you are, the more accurate your result will be. It also helps if you know like the technical names of the ship, like BTLB, Y-Wing. They haven't added, so the X-Wing second edition wiki hasn't added the new cards in yet. It just knows what each of the new cards are going to be. They haven't added pages for the new ones. They're all still setting dials. Bets right now 3 for Ando, 6 for Tanner. Tanner's had a really good season, but then he gets traded by the Tinder Gods Team Endgame. He actually pulls in a pretty decent haul.
You think that trade was more just about being nice to JJ? Try to let him get Tanner on his team.
I mean, maybe. It's not like Nick did him any favors. He got a second round pick and a really good player.
True.
Mystic says, I want to see more of the Tri-Fighters. Well, you're not going to, because they're 3 health ships that cost 4 points when you can have 6 health and vultures for 2. So, good luck.
The new i5s as part of the Siege of Coruscant look pretty good.
They are okay, but they are still Tri-Fighters and they still die.
Yeah.
Iron Assembler, 2 forward. Guess what's going to happen next turn?
He's gonna do a 1 hard.
Yeah, he's going to do a 1 hard.
1,000 nickels to Ando if he does a 1 hard. Or I guess Tanner in this case.
Ties are kind of like banking away. Lieutenant Sai.
It's like you're just trying to make a little more room for Sai. Although Sai's going straight here. I don't know. They got to get the Lambda back in standard.
Yes, they do.
And talk about a ship that we need to see more of.
It's such an iconic Star Wars ship. Like, fucking get the ship back.
You know what? I even think get it in standard and then give it a config so that it can stop and rotate.
Yeah, Mystics correct as well. TIE bombers, like fucking
I mean,
hello.
the dream to me is a Lambda bomber like squad pack,
Yeah,
but it's probably going to be too big or too expensive.
I mean, what would that be like? $60, 2 bombers and a Lambda.
Yeah,
60 buck. I mean, it's pretty good. Honestly, it's getting a land. It's like $20 off
Yeah.
what it probably would cost otherwise. But like, fuck.
I guess that's if you do it the other way. Yeah. Yeah, and again, I still think you give the Lambda a condition so it can stop and rotate, or like give it a condition to help its hard turns not be red or something.
I think you just give it a better dial.
I would be fine with that as long as you include like multiple copies of that dial in the pack, right? Like, let's say you only get one Lambda in the pack, but you just give it like 3 dials to be nice. That way, someone doesn't have to necessarily buy the pack to get the new dial or whatever. I think you probably just use a config card and make it, or the same effect though. But I think otherwise, like I think the stat line and the action bar is pretty spot on to what you'd want for the ship. You know, the focus reinforced, white coordinate. I like the red jam. 10 health feels pretty good.
It's a good ship. It just doesn't.
Yeah,
it just can't use it.
It turns like a warship.
Which is weird. I mean, we saw it in Book of Boba Fett. It's like quite nimble.
Yeah. Yeah, it's moving at a good click in that show.
That was such a cool scene.
You know what? Anytime we get a Lambda, I'm happy.
Yeah, I love Lambdas.
Don't care what the context is. Just Lambda, hell yeah, I'm in. Love the design. Yeah, I mean Lambda's I think unquestionably the most iconic ship not in the standard right now. I guess the bomber, right? The bomber and the Lambda are both up there, but without a doubt, those are the 2 biggest ships that aren't in standard in terms of icons. I can't even think of anything that comes close to that. Just because Rebels are mostly only missing Legend ship right now. I guess they're missing the Ossituck, which is in Rebels. And the 2400s in Rebels as well. But
they already said they're releasing the 2400s, so.
Yeah, they were talking about reworking that too, which I have to imagine is just going to be 3 attack dice. I don't know. I don't know what you do to rework that ship. Although I don't know if it necessarily needs reworking after you got rid of the gunner slot.
Yeah. Well, that and they're like, oh, they're like, we hate Dash's ability, and then come out with Poe.
Well, to be fair, yeah, I guess the main part of Poe's ability is pretty good. I was going to say, to be fair, the thing that kills me about Falcon Poe is the barrel roll being red and you have to expose a damage. That kills me about that ability. But yeah, I tend to agree that seems silly in a world where you're like Dash's antithema to our design philosophy. And then you just make Dash, worse chassis. Still think I want to see the ship from Fallen Order enter the game. I know Rebels need another crew carrier, like they need an extra hole in the head, but I do like that ship, the Mantis or whatever it was called.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if they get hard up for ships, then sure. But I mean, is that really our priority?
What's your priority for Rebels right now? What's your priority
for Rebels?
For Rebels. Say Rebels need a new ship. What do you put? What are you giving them?
The Rebels need a new ship, like a new ship, not a pre, not a.
I mean,
a reprint
if you want to do a reprint, sure.
They've really scraped the bottom of the barrel when it comes to Rebels.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Get the Mantis in there from Fallen Order.
Don't really need it though.
Yeah, it'd be cool though.
Iron Assembler posting up between two.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty happy there. I don't know where that bombardment's gonna end up though, because I don't see a path for that bombardment to get on a rock. Although truthfully, I don't know if you're gonna get range 1, or I guess depending on what you do with DFS, you can get range 1, but you gotta stay close to the assembler to take advantage of his ability. You're fusing to turn in.
I think that's
maybe
smart. You don't want to give your flank to Grievous.
True.
Also for Rebels, I don't think you can do the T-47 because it doesn't fly in space. Like strikers were designed for atmosphere, but they could go in space. But what you could do and could go in space is the Cloud Car.
I'm all for Cloud Car. I know people are against it, but I'm pro Cloud Car here.
I think that'd be fun.
Give it like 2 pilots. So like
or a pilot and a crew.
I would just love to give it a mechanic where you take 2 pilots, right? Like, or it's like the co-pilot ability on the escape shuttle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you gain the ability of your dock ship. I wish it was something like that, where you just took 2 pilot cards. So it'd be like Lando and Lobot, or like Lobot and Bespin Guard, or whatever. I think that'd be fun. But you could do like a T-47 or like a predecessor to the T-47, right? Because it was built off the chat like a different. They talk about modifying it in A New Hope, or not A New Hope. I'm sorry, in Empire. So the modified air speeders, right? So you can make like a modified version of that was meant for space.
Yeah, I just don't think it fits. But
yeah. Well, I mean, that's the problem. Is like for new ships, Rebels are, like you said, are pretty hard up. Of like, they've pretty much made every Rebel ship that we've seen, at least. I guess you could give them T-70s if you wanted to, but like very few T-70s. Because Yurka flies a T-70 at the end of Alphabet Squadron, right?
Right, but I consider New Republic and Resistance to be the same thing, which is why if they reached into Legends and did stealth XJs, the stealth X-wing, I'd want that in Resistance.
I've often wondered where like a Squadrons pack would be,
right?
Because like Squadrons feels, I mean, it's New Republic, right? But
they're not Rebels.
Rebel. It's in a weird mid zone, right? Where it's like, where do you put it? Because like you said, it's not Rebels, but at the same time, it's like not quite Resistance yet either.
Mm-hmm.
It's year 1 of the New Republic. It's what, like, I thought it was 5 years after Endor, wasn't it? No, that's Jakku. I don't know the timeline. I'm so lost.
I think Jakku's just a year after Endor.
Is it?
Yeah.
I quite honestly, I have no idea the timeline. Timeline's all screwy for me.
That's one of my biggest disappointments with the new canon. Is old canon had this like really long, protracted war after Endor, like it actually would be, like.
Yeah. Well, I think new canon had to invent, like, They chose to invent this whole Operation Cinder thing.
Mm-hmm.
That really, like, I think that that's a good way of explaining how it died off so fast, right? Because that's a really good divisive way of being like the most fanatical stayed in, but most of the people who have any sort of reasonable conscience were like, "Oh God, I'm out." But did you read Bloodlines by Claudia Gray?
Yes, love that book.
I love that book. It's so good. I think that's my favorite of the new canon books.
Oh, my favorite book that's currently Star Wars canon right now is Lost Stars.
That's also Claudia Gray. Both of these books, Claudia Gray.
Yeah. But Lost Stars is so good. If you don't know what Lost Stars is, it's where Thane and Sienna come from. So you know Thane and Sienna from the game.
Right? Larir as well, right? No, Nash. Nash isn't it?
No, Nash. Yeah, Nash. Windrider.
Nash. Yep.
Gross. Stardust. Gross. We are we're No Nut November.
This is a Christian X-Wing
This
stream.
is a Christian X-Wing stream.
Oh, Django taking a lock. Is he at FTC?
Didn't he boost?
He's just Arc. I'm sorry, this is Arc lock. For some reason, it looked like it was spawning the bubble for me.
We're gonna close betting, so I hope you got yours in.
Shit, I got bet. Oh, I missed it. Oh well. I'm not winning nickels this month. I had some bad bets in the middle.
Into blue, I think this shot's gonna be.
The one that has a focus and evade.
Well,
the 2-point tie that's token stacked.
And gets evades. We need a name for Black Squadron Ace. What's a good Imperial name?
Carl. No, he's not Academy Ace. I don't know. Eric with the K.
Eric with a K.
Oh my gosh. I'll wait till they shoot and I'll tell you this. Range 3 in the bombardment drone. One hit, one eye. Do you have a focus? No focus. Moff chose to barrel instead. Ooh, forces calc spend. Eric Scythe Sable, I love it.
Bad roll.
Not a lot of reds going into this bombardment drone. He's pretty content right now.
Yeah.
Plenty of paint.
It's kind of a lame opening joust.
Yeah, this is kind of boring for how many ships have shots here.
Although I think Cannon's going to grab 4 points.
I think he's going to miss that.
Yeah, he's going to miss.
3. Yeah,
Grievous going to miss that bottom one.
I mean, probably shoot Iden.
I shoot the shuttle. Fuck going into Iden.
Yeah. I don't know. Iden has no. I just, for me, I'm always trying to get that Iden spend early.
Yeah, but I want to do damage.
True. We'll get Iden to spend it early, and it's easy to do damage. Will the shuttle have 10 health? 10 health? Yeah, it's not terrible. The shuttle and the fire spray having the same amount of health does seem weird, though.
Yeah.
You'd think the shuttle had like a bit more health to it. But I digress. Looks like Iden. A lot of hemming and hawing right now.
Let's pick one. It doesn't matter who you shoot.
Yeah, that Lambda head took no chance, stood no chance in season 2 of Mando for sure. You get one reroll at least.
I see 4
Hey.
dice, so don't know who this is on.
It's an Iden. Yeah, you either take 2 with Iden or you spend the charge. I think you spend the charge.
I didn't spend
Yep.
the charge.
There you go. It's always hard when it's not a kill shot, right? Because the kill shot's the obvious Iden spend, but the early 2 damage is a weird spot of like, do you take it? Do you not? Again,
All
we're
right,
gonna go
Eric,
Iden charge
Size
early.
Sable.
Here we go.
Again, gonna
Yeah.
try.
Just one. Need some blank skis. Nope.
Not today.
Not today, Eric. Not today. Iden is slightly tankier than one FO. Yeah.
Bombardment
Guess so.
drone's gonna get a shot back into Gideon. Into blue.
No, don't shoot blue. He's got 2 tokens. Why would you shoot blue? I guess the assembler. He's trying to say if I have a shot with the assembler.
Oh,
is
who
it
gives
worth
a
notifying?
shit? That's a bad shot.
Yeah, you just take the better shot here.
Yeah, there it is. Into Gideon.
Yeah, the Eric is 2 points, Gideon is 3, and Eric has a focus of aid. That won't matter.
And the iron assembler.
Nada. Oh wait, that's DFS. Oh look, he's got Moth as well. See? Easy.
Right now, he's got 2 droids
Ooh.
that are posted up between 2. Ooh, this is an energy shell charge.
Nice.
So it's gonna be 3v3.
That's 2 crits with the ESC ability. Nice. Not a terrible chance to get damage in. There it is.
It's too many dice, isn't it?
Nah, 4 because it's range 3. Direct. Moth down to 1.
But it's
Good
an
stuff.
energy shell. That's a
Oh, true. Yeah.
missile, yeah?
You want to re-roll it? What do you want to do?
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah,
That was too many dice on Moff Gideon's roll.
even though it's obstructed.
He ignores.
Oh, he ignores it. Sorry. I didn't even
so
notice you.
just
you
3
did
dice.
that.
All right, send result.
Yeah.
Here's a thought I had when watching football the other night.
Okay, which football?
It does not matter.
Okay.
It may have been the FSU game.
Hell yeah.
At some point, there was a penalty that was declined. Because it was like, because you know, in
should
football,
be, you
when it
should be
happens-
able to decline. Yeah, 100% I agree.
Yep, that's exactly what I thought about, and I almost posted in the Nickel City chat, but I didn't know how to word it.
No, that fucked me in a game I was playing.
Yep.
I forget who it
If
was.
someone rolls too few dice or too many dice, excuse me, I think you should be able to decline the penalty.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree.
Yeah, I was just like, as I was watching, I thought about that. I'm like, oh my god, you should be able to do this the next week. Or there's
I
times where
agree.
it's a misplay, right? Or like a mistake.
Let's
like,
put that to a vote. If that's universal, I think we might make that like a Nickel City rule.
Yeah, I
Should
think
you
that's.
be able to decline a too many dice reroll?
I think there are some errors in this game that if like your opponent does it, they shouldn't be allowed to like redo it, right?
Right.
Whatever that is.
All
And
right,
usually that's just
hold us
rolling
up.
too many dice.
3 minutes to. This is a highly influential, important vote.
Oh my
Honestly,
god,
why
this-
don't we make that a universal? We might end up making it a universal rule. Until I see a compelling reason not to. Or, I mean, if the desire's there.
I just think it's such a clear parallel to me. I was watching it and I'm like, you should be able to decline the penalty, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just straight 1-to-1. Like, oh, you fucked up, too bad. Like you rolled 4 blanks, or you rolled like blank, blank, blank eye. Like you don't get to re-roll that because you mistaked and you picked too many dice or what have you. Do I think this will ever be added to the actual game? No. But I think it should be. Which way would you vote, Azagal? Which way are you voting, Ernie? Rules purist? Rules purist being, I assume, re-roll the dice.
That's a no. Rules purist would be no.
Okay. I mean, and to be clear here, this is a change rules, not like a override rules, I guess. I think this is like something that should be added to the rule book.
This actually should be the rule.
Yeah, the rule should be the opponent can choose to decline the reroll. The biggest reason I could see saying no, it has to be like always roll the same number of dice, right? Or the correct number of dice. Is that I could see a situation in which someone rolls too few dice, right? And then the other player decides to decline the reroll. And then there's conflict between the players out of game, right? Of, oh, that's BS, man. Like I have to roll this many dice.
Well, but that you get the option to decline. Everyone has the option to decline. Right. They can be like, you can keep that or you can re-roll. I think if you make that mistake, that's your own damn fault. Fucking own up to it.
I think so too, but I think there's players that would probably get upset with it, and then it introduces what do I want to say here? A level of like, I could choose to be mean or I could choose to be nice to you, right?
I don't think it's mean at all. What's mean about it? You rolled too many dice and you didn't roll well, but if I give you another shot, basically a re-roll, I'm upping your odds of rolling better.
Yeah.
None of that is the player who chooses fault.
Yeah, there is a certain level of objectivity with enforcing it the same way every time and not making a player choose of how to enforce certain things.
They're not choosing to enforce certain things. You fucked up. They are deciding whether or not they want you to keep it. Like,
I'm playing devil's advocate here, right? I'm trying to think of the situation where it could cause conflict out of game, right? And create a situation where you now have two players, actively engaged in an argument or whatever that may escalate. However, I still think you should be able to decline it.
I don't know. I think it's if they didn't want to fuck up, don't fuck up. Don't roll too many dice.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, what the rule really should be is if you roll too many dice, you don't get anything. It's blanks.
Oh, that's interesting. That's the misdial and the stress, right? The two straight, the white two straight.
You don't get to reset your dial.
Yeah. Oh fuck! I forgot I was stressed. Let me move it to something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the argument I think I was trying to make Azagal, but not doing a good job of it. That is the one argument I could see for being like, Although Jammin brings up a good point too of like, if everyone knows the rule now is if you roll too many and whiff, you're gonna have to keep it. Then that's not like a surprise gotcha.
How is it surprise gotcha? You know when you roll too many.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like if that's the rule, right? So it's not like all of a sudden you're like, oh, you have to keep that. If you know that's the rule from the get-go, it's no longer like an issue about like, it's not a gotcha, right? Because it's what's in the book now, or whatever.
None of this is a gotcha because you just cheated.
Yeah.
When you roll too many dice, you're cheating.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
You don't get rewarded for cheating. Like, that's my stance.
Yeah, that is how it feels sometimes. That is definitely how it feels.
Now, don't misinterpret cheating for like intent.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about it a little more and Sniper, but I think I actually really like that rule.
Yeah, like I said, I was just sitting there like watching the game, and they were like, I'm just like, this seems like such a clear parallel to me, of like, you can just equate it to this. I'll always roll 5 greens. I'll re-roll them later.
I mean, if your opponent is consistently trying to cheat, then you call a judge. Like,
yeah.
if he's always rolling more dice than they're allowed, you call a judge.
Well, that's one of the arguments for. It's one of the arguments. This is getting off a different tangent. That's one of the arguments for having like a game clock. Because if you have to call time on someone, it feels like it's too objective. But if you have a clock, it doesn't require it like. I'm sorry, too subjective. If you're calling time, right? Like you're saying like, oh, you're taking too much time to set dials. It feels like there's too much player judgment there. But if it's a clock, it's like, oh, clearly you're taking too much time. The clock says it. But
It gets messy though. Say I am mid motion, but nothing is rolled yet, and I call shit. That's too many. No, because you didn't roll.
no, you haven't rolled.
Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
That's not. There's nothing messy about that.
Yeah, that's pretty clear to me. Of like, oh, you didn't actually roll. This seems like an easy focus boost.
It's like taking your hand off in chess.
Why is he bear rolling? Yeah, there you go.
I think it was just a misclick. Yeah, misclick
Okay,
there.
cool. Yep.
But how does the judge know? Well, if the other player's gonna lie, then they could lie about anything. Like, that's not an argument against it. That was.
I mean, I
like,
think
fucking, I could just lie about it regardless.
I think the clear standard the clear standard to determine whether they have rolled too many dice or not is to see
It's
how
if
many
they
dice
roll
are
too
on the
many
board.
dice.
Yeah, to see how many dice are on the board after they have rolled.
Yeah, that is clearly it.
It does seem like a pretty clear binary to me. Like, yes
It's
or no.
not
if you
lying
roll too many
though. It's just a
dice.
thing of perspective and noticing. Well, you should notice if your opponent's rolling too many dice. That's kind of on you. Both players are responsible for the board state.
I mean, that's an argument too for rolling the dice on like a central location, so it's not like your opponent can just roll whatever.
Yeah.
Bring a dice box. Make your opponent roll in the dice box, or put a dice box on the table and roll.
Or just pay attention. Ironic for me to be saying that, but like, just pay attention.
Django swinging heavy.
Yeah.
He
I
saw
think
what
this
his
is
son was
on
doing earlier.
Moff Gideon.
He saw what his son was doing earlier, and he's like, I can do that. Is that a dead
Yeah,
moth? That's a dead
that's a-
moth.
Not only is that a dead moth, but that is a shot that you're going to desperately need into that bombardment drone who's just about to pick his poison. Who do
Yeah.
you drop a prox on? You literally have the pick of the litter.
Item will get to cluster here. So that's a thing. But now you have an incentive to let them. I mean, not really, because they can still roll really well, and then you have to say re-roll it anyways.
Yeah. I
guess
mean,
that gives you-
again,
yeah.
if they're purposely doing it over and over again, you call a judge. The same way, if they were wasting time normally, you would call a judge. Like, this doesn't change any of that. Like, you can't exploit this rule. This is not something you can exploit. And frankly, if you're purposely trying to exploit it, you're a shitty person.
Greg, I'm glad you don't think what I said was crazy. And I'm like, I did not expect you to be this much on my side about this.
Well, I'm kind of just like, the arguments against it I've seen so far are not compelling at all.
Oh,
It's like,
Mervyn Joe,
oh,
not
people will just always cheat. Well, then they're a cheater, they're bad, and they should not be playing this game. Would you allow them to mod if they got like one focus on the original roll, or would they just be out of luck? That's up to you.
Yeah, that's your choice.
That's your choice. If it's
Django
three
takes-
blanks and a focus when they should have rolled 3, you can say, you can let them keep the roll. and they can mod like they normally would.
2 shields on Django down.
If both players are responsible for the board state, you should reroll always. That doesn't make any sense. What did I miss?
Django took 2 shields.
Okay.
You got Moff dead. Yeah, Moff's dead. Django just took 2 shields from Sigma 5.
What do you mean it's not viable in competitive set? Why not? Players always have choices and rules. You can always choose to not enforce something. You 100% cannot enforce a rule in fucking tournament play. How many times? What about Marcel? How many missed triggers have you given? You didn't enforce the rule then? You gave them missed triggers. Just being a nice guy. You chose not to enforce that rule.
Is that a cluster from Iden? It was a cluster from Iden.
I don't think it makes sense to punish people for minor mistakes.
I think that's 3 into the bombardment drone.
I mean, adding an extra dice isn't a minor mistake. You pay good points to add dice to every ship that you add dice on is pretty expensive.
That's 2 damage in the bombardment drone. You need 3 more to avoid the prox mine.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
I mean, Gideon gets 1 extra die now. Bombardment drone, no, I still has calculus, yeah. Possible.
Oh, will judges not let you fix it, Velvet Buddha? Ask Marcel. Ask Marcel if judges will let you take missed triggers.
4 dice from Gideon to bombardment drone. This actually could kill the bombardment drone. Oh shit.
All right. I mean, blanks are blanks here.
Gideon does not want the prox mine. Is this a cluster? What is this? No, it's just primary.
Ooh, it's gonna be hit crit. You have to spend, right?
Yeah. I have definitely seen D shut down missed triggers. I have seen certain other judges be very lackadaisical about missed triggers.
We saw it at Nova where they were giving missed triggers out of turn.
Yeah.
The judges were. So don't tell me that the rules aren't fucking already being played with. Like,
I would argue inconsistent judging is not a good basis to argue about this, but yeah.
I would argue that if your argument is like picking and choosing rules, they do it all the time. It literally happens.
Yeah. Did you get 2? This is the usual American comp versus European comp. All right.
It should not be up to the players to enforce rules. Are you kidding me? Literally every single rule the players have to enforce. There isn't a judge standing over your table 24 hours being like, no, you have to do this, you have to do that. That's crazy. That's a crazy thing to say.
Judges do have different styles here. I know. I'm just giving you a hard time because it's a meme at this point. We also have 3 shields on the side.
If the opponent rolls too many dice, roll dice to decide if they have to re-roll dice. Unreal.
True. I'm just kind of glad that this wasn't like a easy, like, you're an idiot discussion. That's why I didn't type it out on Sunday because I was like, or Saturday, because I was looking at it and I'm like, I don't know how to say this. It doesn't make me sound like an idiot, so I'm not going to say it. Although I guess to some people I sound like an idiot right now. Yeah, there it is. Well, you know what? You know what, Ernie? I had a better XTC record than you did. So if that makes me an idiot, what does that make you? Love you, bud. A 2.0 player. Yeah, Yeah, that's not wrong. Oh, Catherine's pro this. All right, interesting. Catherine is pro, no reroll. No,
Why should you get
decline
second
penalty.
shots at a thing you fucked up? We don't let people boost left, have it not fit, and then go boost straight. It's inconsistent with every other rule. AMG will
change boost now.
God
I mean, have you
damn it.
listen? Have you watched them play on stream? I don't have proof they've done that on stream, but it feels like it's something they may have done on stream.
Yes. We're saying the player who it was rolled against gets the choice if you roll too many.
Yeah, it's declining the penalty. That was the analogy at the start of this, right?
Yeah,
It's like
I haven't paid a single lick of attention. If you're watching this on
Okay.
YouTube, I hope you're following this because I'm not.
to try to give some level of commentary, but
Yeah, Pim's trying,
I'm
and I'm
trying.
ignoring it completely.
Aiden's okay. I think that was Aiden, anyways. Into Aiden, rather.
Yeah. Well, someone's getting
Um,
proximine. Do you proximine the interceptor?
Oh, 100% you proximine the interceptor. It's worth more points.
I think this is for sure 4-1.
If Aiden was on 2 health, I would consider proximining Aiden. But given that both healthy, just forget it. It should
A
be 4 to
reroll will
1
never provide a benefit. That's just false.
I think this is 4 to 1.
Yeah, this one is 4. Yeah, I said that. Come on, man.
Okay, I thought you said 3. I thought you said 3 to 1. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So 10-2 Tanner in a game he's gonna watch back and be like, how come no one's talking about how well I'm doing?
Also, Pin is lying. He's got like Duchess and a Captain in hand. True. Ex ante and ex post benefits. Oh my god. What if we
Again,
started?
if you see someone pick up 4 dice when they should pick up 3, say something beforehand. Like, always.
A lot of times I rush into it. Yeah.
But if I say something, then I'm a player enforcing the rules. Well, can't have that. You're not incentivized not to. Stop it.
Overlay wise, we did lose 3 shields on Psy, and there was a wounded pilot on the. Oh, we already got the wounded pilot. Yeah, that was it. That's the only thing we're missing on the overlay. It's just 3
Who the
shields.
fuck are these people you guys are playing that are like fucking trying to cheat? Because all this argument is like, I'm incentivized to roll too many dice. I'm like, are you all fucking cheaters? Are you all trying to cheat all the time? Is that who everyone is? Like-
I think there's. I mean, there's a level of grayness, right, in any competitive event. That people are shooting for that level of grayness where it's not necessarily against the rules, but it's like in this weird zone where it may not be explicitly against the rules, so you're still gonna try to exploit it, right?
I just cannot think of anything more pathetic than trying to exploit a game with fucking plastic ships. I mean,
yeah.
Like, honestly, it's
Yeah.
just so pathetic.
For sure, but people get in like the zone of like, oh my god, I gotta win. That's why I usually don't cut my opponent's deck, because I tell them if you somehow manage to rig a damage deck, congrats, I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for real. Like, I'm with Buddha on that one. My life is too busy to, like, give a fuck about people who are trying to cheat me in this game.
Are we sure Tanner's not cheating right now with this current score?
I don't know, maybe.
10-2, pretty big.
I can't rule it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't rule it out.
We gotta performance test these bombardment drones. Or these ships.
Yeah.
I do hate that Grievous has gotten a flank on Psy despite Psy's best efforts.
Did.
That goes to a different question. Ernie, your opponent forgot to move the commandos and gain info about a few ships moving. Do you let them move the commandos? That there was an interesting debate on, I think, Fly Better a while back.
How many people would let you? But here's the point of this.
That is the question. Yeah.
A lot of people would let you do that because they're like, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's choosing what rules to follow, because by the rule they shouldn't, right?
I mean, it's the
but
thing,
they're
right? Your
choosing
opponent,
to ignore that rule.
it's your
We
opponent
do
dials
it
a clear,
all
like,
the time. We do it all the time.
if your opponent dials it too hard off the board and clearly meant to dial it too hard the other way, do you let them
Or say your opponent goes straight off the board, first move of the game, while they're flying spam techs in a major GSP tournament.
That would never happen.
I mean, completely made up scenario. But say
Uh-oh.
it did happen.
And it was trying to roll too few road dice there.
Fucking unreal.
Ando killing it with these road rolls. Tanner got the best road. He got the turn 0 road, and everything else he's not gotten. There's not a whole lot of overlap. He's gonna go for Iden with the Proxmine. I think you'd rather. I think if you're Ando, you're happier with Iden taking
Iden
that
and
than
Sigma, yeah.
Yeah. That's what
Iden
1 point
takes
difference.
1, and we'll roll 2, and this could kill Iden.
Help him for blank skis.
And gets the blank skis. Iden Reno.
Competitive is poor sportsmanship to allow. Yeah, I agree. I mean, I personally, I think that's a situation that I allow them to change the dial. But like, if you don't, I understand. That's the way the game is played. But that, like Greg has been saying, is selective enforcement of the rules. Right?
It absolutely, yes. That is exactly what that is. That is selective enforcement.
Yeah, I would allow, but they shouldn't ask. Yeah. Well, they shouldn't ask. That feels like a weird morality thing of like unwritten rule of baseball. I mean, I think they're allowed to ask, but I think you're also completely fair to say no.
Next tournaments, we all wear Punisher shirts. I mean, if anyone can get my logo into like a Punisher skeleton.
The only problem with that, Greg, is we will get confused by the Blue Lives Matter crew.
Oh, God.
People may get the wrong impression.
Oh, God.
I think Noah Sniper has taken quite a lot of umbrage to what we've been saying.
I
can't tell if he's agreeing or if it's sarcasm.
No,
I really
I'm pretty
can't
sure.
tell.
I'm pretty sure he's agreeing.
You clearly stopped reading 10 minutes ago. Whoever reads, man? What are you talking about?
I don't know. I've been reading too much. I've missed the whole game.
Did you see Eric manage that K turn and didn't get on the debris?
I mean, it's a great K turn. One for
Great
the ages,
character
really, from Eric.
Great K turn by Eric Scythe Sable.
Reading is for nerds. See, we don't
Spoken-
disagree on everything.
Spoken like a true engineer. I mean, I think a barrel roll with this, right? Barrel roll with that bombardment drone.
Oh yeah, barrel roll
Yeah.
target lock.
Hey, get out of the arc and then just plonk a pizza on this lambda next turn.
Yeah, I mean, between your shot coming up and Grievous's shot coming up, you probably got that lambda off the board.
Yeah.
I'm not a nerd, Bart. Nerds are smart. Oh, goddamn.
There it is, the roll. You get done. It's Pizza time, baby. Who is this man so wise in the ways of dissing engineer? A fellow engineer.
The fuck was that? Why'd you cup your mic?
To increase the dramatic factor.
Oh, the role for the wounded pilot
Oh, sad.
doesn't get to link it, but still okay.
Yeah, I mean, you're not taking a shot. You're probably living unless something crazy happens.
I mean, this game was set up for three objectives every round just by sitting there for the droids.
Yeah. Yeah, Tanner did a great job in setup.
Yeah, this is a turn 0 advantage, which I absolutely hate the saying turn 0 advantage, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
You had that in 2.0 as well.
Oh, Sigma gets blocked on the K turn attempt, is going to end up double stressed, and will have to roll for a
roll for both
damage.
Roll for the debris and roll for the self bump.
Yeah. So that's 1 damage.
Abusing turn 0 advantage is definitely much bigger now, but it was a thing that you could do in 2.0 as well.
I'm gonna make sure he's got a roll for both. Hey, sorry, Sigma's got to roll one for the debris and then one for.
He did. He rolled the one for. Oh,
Sigma takes another. I think Ando's a little triggered if I can judge by the one word he got in while I was there.
What'd he say?
He's like, of course.
Classic. It's alright, Ando. We all make mistakes.
I'm big team half points. I don't think they shouldn't get any more like 0.2 points.
I don't think anyone in this chat's going to disagree with you.
I'm 100% with Catherine. Team half points and three objectives
on each.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Except Chance, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're worried about half points making games end too early, just figure out another use for half points. Like, make it so that you can't contest assault when you're half pointed, or you have to drop a crate when you get half pointed, or whatever.
Yeah. But I also think right now, the way people fortress is in big base ships with lots of health.
Yeah.
And that half points helps with that.
Yep. I mean, Double Desi is a stupid list because you can't get points from it.
Yeah.
It's not dumb because, it's not like it's that Double Desi is that much more powerful than...
I mean, Double Desi and Vader, it's like you can't shoot through enough of this to, get points. It's a little bit broken. Jango Fett, range 1. Jango does have veteran tail gunner, so he's going to get 2 range runs here. First, into the shuttle.
This could be a dead shuttle between Jango Grievous Pizza.
That is 1 crit, 1 hit, 1 eye.
Oh, is he rolling because one out of the box?
1 crit, 1 hit then. And the shuttle will take it. That crit is a loose stabilizer. At least the shuttle's not headed off the board. Veteran tail gunner, 4 dice into Iden. Still can't believe there's a 6-point Vader. That's better than the X1 other Vader, so...
Oh, God, there's no way he's better.
He's way better. He's got a shield upgrade. He hits harder.
Yeah, the other one
comes with afterburners. Fucking.
The other one can pattern analyze like 17 actions.
Yeah, but then you drain all his force. And this Vader can use his force on defense. He's 100% better and cheaper. Iden is gone. Sorry, Iden. We all loved you. You know who isn't gone though? Eric Sky Sable.
I really want to see him just one shot this assembler. I want to see Ando get the boost he needs here.
Oh wait, I didn't have elusive. Don't think it mattered. Yeah. All right, here's Gideon. Doesn't have the bombardment drone.
Yeah.
Gosh.
That's second time that bombardment drone has barely escaped an arc this game.
Yeah.
That's been a real problem here. You're at least going to contest this objective that he's sitting on.
Maybe not. Oh, well, yeah, maybe.
Gotta be 2 and 2.
I just don't think the shuttle's gonna live. I guess.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. I think the shuttle lives to next system phase.
Six
all right,
Vader is clearly better.
Buddha's agreeing with me, which means I may be wrong.
Yep, there you go. Ha! Selective enforcement, baby. A force spend. Don't think Sigma can shoot.
Is Sigma on the rock? No. No. Oh, yeah, he can shoot.
Yeah, can't shoot.
Sag.
Hate giving Ando like bad news. When like it's all clearly just going so poorly.
Yeah, he's already having a terrible time. You gotta be like, well, I got bad news, buddy.
Yeah.
Three more damage into the Lambda. It's on 2. Range 1, come on, kill the assembler. Ah, Kingdom for a focus. Boy Vader is good. I don't think anyone's arguing that Boy Vader is bad. It's just which one is superior.
I would so much rather face the 7-point Vader because I know that means I'm not facing more upgraded fucking ships.
Interesting.
6-point Vader opens up the Empire to so much like double Desi that like no Ando.
He's got 1 more health. Delete it first.
Yeah, it won't work. Don't do it. Don't say anything. Don't do it.
Got it.
If you delete it there, it's just gonna.
True. Oh, hit undo on the undo on the move.
All right. So let me see here. Q. Damn.
There it is.
I am the man.
We did it.
All right.
And this game has been a heated debate all of a sudden.
Everywhere but the actual field of battle.
Well, yeah, unfortunately.
And now the ship's gonna die.
This is how I felt during the finals of the Nickel City Open of like, oh god, Jiamin got 4 points. Next turn. Oh god, Jiamin got 4 points.
Yeah, this game just 2.5 snowballs. It's been a feature of it the whole time. It just snowballs fast, and
we're at least getting to a point where it doesn't snowball as often as when it first launched, but it still snowballs pretty bad.
Yeah.
Michael Owen out here being like, I think they're both good. Stupid centrist. What are you talking about?
Oh, God, pick a side. That's a tie. So I think this is 2 points. Going to make Ando suffer another round. That just seems mean.
There's very few war games that don't snowball. Yeah. I should pick a side. Both suck. Both Vaders are terrible.
Both Vaders are terrible.
Did you see someone asked in the rules forum recently if...
I did not check the rules forum, so no, I did not see.
Someone was asking if the Battle of Yavin, Dark Curse, and Mahler, or whatever the two... It's Mahler and Backstabber? Yeah. The two pilots that get extra dice for being next to Vader, or whatever. Someone was asking if that works with Vader crew. Which was a clear no. I don't read the rules.
How's the card read? Does it just say Darth Vader? Does it say pilot?
It does not.
Interesting. You know what? I think I might be on that guy's side, even though I think Vader Crew is awful and should not be in the game.
Vader Crew is my, behind Sloan, most hated crew in the game.
Sloan is by far my most hated crew.
Yeah, Sloan is easily the worst crew in the game in terms of playing against, because it's like, okay, let me punish you for playing the game correctly. But Vader Crew is up there in terms of it does a very similar thing of punishing you for playing the game correctly. Or, if you try to arc dodge and you miss.
Vader Crew should be range 0. It should not be range 0 to 2. It should be range 0.
I don't disagree. By the rules, you can't be at range of a crew as it's not an object on the table. There you go. Oh yeah, there was an interesting interaction too recently with Dark Curse and Midnight and Ion Cannon. So like the ion weapons are you modify your dice. So you spend one result to do the damage, and then the rest do ion. You cannot spend the results if you're facing Midnight who has locked you or Dark Curse because you can't modify. So you just deal ion damage immediately. You don't do any actual damage. It's just all ions. It's weird.
Is that an actual thing?
It is. It was just ruled that way in the forums. It's weird.
So you're telling me that if you ionize Midnight or Dark Curse, you don't actually do any damage?
No, you just give them ions.
Fucking shit.
So like you shoot an ion torpedo, right? Usually it's do 1 damage, and then all the other hits are ions. Doing the 1 damage is spending, which is a mod. So you cannot do that against Midnight or Dark Curse. Yeah, pizza goes directly on the Lambda. Does the Lambda die? It does seem dumb, but it is very fascinating. And there are situations where it could be better. Because it means if you only get 1 hit through, you do ionize them. Which could be advantageous. But it's weird. It's a weird thing. Yeah. It's super niche. Yeah, so you get the extra ion, right? Because if you get 3 results and then got 1 evade, instead of taking a damage and an ion, you're just gonna take 2 ions.
And that's the shuttle.
GG.
Well, they still get to play out the whole turn.
Chris, you've missed a lot. Okay, you've missed a lot going on this game.
Chris,
not related to the game. Let the Wookiee win. He said he stepped away for like 20
minutes and come back to us. Oh my god.
You missed a huge debate.
More than that. Hey, Desi. You didn't miss anything, Desi. No worries.
Don't worry about it. No reason to watch this. Watch this
Oh, man.
back and find
Let me
out.
read this ruling. While you defend a form attack, if you have locked on the enemy ship, that ship's dice cannot be modified. To attack hits, spend one hit or crit to cause offender. If there's one uncancelled hit coming in, an attacker is locked. What happens? The spending results in dice modifications. That's ion tokens don't spend. A spending is defined as a dice modification. That step is skipped, and all remaining hit crit results inflict ion tokens instead of damage. So in this scenario, there'd be one uncancelled hit. When can attack, Midnight is locked. Midnight would gain one ion token and take no damage.
Yeah.
Stupid, but I
It's
guess
weird.
technically correct.
Well, that's what the forums were, right? Technically correct.
This game was wild, and half of it was conversation. Was it wild?
Yeah.
Was this
There
game
was some-
wild?
There's some heated debate there. But the game has mostly been Tana putting on a clinic and showing how Turn Zero is very, very important. And you can lose the game very fast if you're not careful. That being said, Ando has also not been able to push damage through, which I know he's pissed about, but
Yeah, he just hasn't been
it's
able
what it
to
is.
do it. I mean,
Yeah. Go for the roll.
I feel bad, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those that you hate watching because it just, you know that like the player is obviously having a bad time,
yeah.
but nothing you can really do, right? And like I said, I mean, I was there a couple weeks ago at the Nickel City Open, and like it sucks. It's a shitty feeling of like I've lost this game. There's nothing I can do. I guess I just try to make a good showing, but then it just snowballs. Definitely a bummer. No one cheated, Sherman. Just a discussion of cheating and what constitutes cheating.
It's not even what constitutes cheating. It's just should you be held accountable for it?
Yeah.
Someone takes a strain there.
Gideon. So he probably isn't dead.
Ooh, pretty ineffective thermals. Not that it matters.
I mean, his Tanner hasn't been rolling great on his bombs, or hasn't been getting great on his bombs, right? He got the two auto damage from the Crocs mines, but only did one damage. Other than that,
Yeah.
it was enough to kill a Lambda. But other than that, no damage on these two thermals. Not really what you expect. Road one of the Buffalo tourney, missing cut by one spot. Yeah, that was shitty. Math should have said that. Oh, the pair down is the issue, right? There was a drop and there was an odd number, so the pair down become the issue. But it should have been that everyone who went 3-2 or 3-1 should have made cut. But math, man, math can be sucky. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. Just like the buys, when you get weird numbers of people, or uneven numbers of people, I should say, makes the math weird.
Yeah, that bumps me out.
That's the worst thing as a TO for me is like when someone like probably should have gotten in or whatever and they don't.
Yeah. I hate that.
And it's like I wish I could help you. That's why you should try to throw in like I don't know extra prize or something at that point because it definitely.
Well, the thing is,
bad.
I wasn't a TO, so I literally had no say over it. Like,
Yeah. I was
even though they did abandon me for like all of the playoff part to drink downstairs while I'm like running the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, I did notice the TOs just kind of left at some point. And I was like, okay, I guess bye.
They came back for like the very, very end. I'm like, motherfuckers.
Yeah, they came back to watch the champion kick my ass. Oh my god, the Iron Assembler
Oh,
kills Gideon. Maybe. No, there's a chance. Feel like, all right, not dead.
It's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4 more points for
God.
Tanner.
Tanner, man, he killed this game.
So center's contested. This is gonna be a 28-2.
Jesus, what a thrashing. I'm sorry, Ando.
Yeah, it just sucks.
Yeah, this was a turn.
I know
win.
how like frustrated Ando gets, and I like really want him to like win. You know, like
Well, I want to have good games, right? Like if he doesn't win, I don't want him to walk away being like, "This sucks."
yeah, this is a tough one. Tough one. Maybe Catherine can talk him up a little bit. But there it is. GG. Congratulations to Tanner making a big impact for Team Endgame.
First game with a 28-point win. Oof. That's like
Coming
getting a grand
in
slam.
hot. Evens that series up at 1 apiece.
It's getting a grand slam in your opening start.
Yeah, I mean, can you make a better impression on your team?